How y'all doing? Sharp Bone, my character, man, R&B, and this is another episode of Retro TV 91. It's time to do another movie reviews, and this time with me and Grudge Match. What happens on this movie is, it's about these two boxers, Razor and Kid. And the first fight they ever had, like 30 years ago, Kid won and he was the champion. And then they had a second fight, Razor versus Kid 2, and that fight, Kid went in the best of shape, and Razor wound up winning the championship. Well, after this, Razor retires from boxing because Kid got with Razor's girlfriend and they wound up having a baby, and Razor quit boxing and didn't want to have nothing to do with it anymore, and he started working at a factory. Well, 30 years later, their old promoter, his son, shows up at Razor's house wanting him and Kid to have the third fight. So it starts off, well, no, never mind. It starts off with Razor doing some motion capture for a video game, and then Kid shows up, and then they get in this big fight backstage or whatever, and then the promoter, who's played by Kevin Hart, comes and says that they need to make this fight because they could get a lot of money for this fight because there's already been offers for this fight. So Razor and Kid's going to have this fight, and they start training, and while they're training, Razor gets back with his old girlfriend who had the kid with Kid, and Kid's son shows up and starts talking to him, and then Kid's son starts training him, and Razor's old trainer starts training him or whatever. Well, Razor's dating Kid's son's mother, and it's all confusing or whatever, but they're dating, and they wind up getting in a wreck, and the reason they get in a wreck, we find out the Razor's blind on his left side because there was this explosion at the factory when he worked, and his left eye got damaged, and he can't see out of that left eye, and his trainer wants him to throw the fight, and he does because Kid's son's mother convinces him to throw this fight, and then Kid shows up throwing bricks through his window wanting him to keep the fight going, and then Razor finally decides to do the fight. So the fight happens, and they're doing this fight, and it goes to round 3, and then it keeps going all the way to the last round or whatever, and at the last round, Kid realizes, Kid's son finds out that Razor is blind in one eye, and tells his dad to stay on the side of the eye where Razor can see you, because if this gets out and everybody knows that you was going after his blind side, they're going to say that you didn't win straight up. So this is what Kid does. He picks Razor up from stopping the 10 count, and then Razor knocks him down, and then Razor comes and picks him up after the 10 count, and then it goes to the decision, and Razor winds up winning the fight. That's all that really happened on this movie. Y'all ever watch Grudge Match? What did y'all like about it? As always, put your man on this side out. That is awesome. Just an episode of TV 91.